Kind of another year of this same interview, I guess. Does this one feel a little bit different, though, in that there's maybe more question as to whether this group is all back together or not next year, maybe more so than other years?
Yeah, I'm sure there's always going to be questions. I mean, with any team that, I don't think it's really different from any other years. It's always been the same, who's going to be back and who's not. I think with when you finish in 29th, there's always going to be changes. But that being said, there's changes throughout every lineup coming in. So, but ultimately that's out of the players' control, really. All they can do is play in the way they left and deal with what happens in the summer.
To go through this year after year, George, I mean, what's kind of the toll it's kind of taken on this group, core group?
Yeah, I mean, no one likes losing. I mean, we're all professionals. We're competitive people. It's not fun, being out of the playoffs and having to sit at home and watch other teams, fight for something that you ultimately want to win. That's always a challenge. But I think when you look back on this season, for sure, we definitely made improvements. I know there's been, we're nowhere near where we need to be. But I think when you look back on our goals against average, our goals differential, our special teams, we have made improvements, and that's definitely a positive sign. But ultimately, like I said, we're not where we want to be.
What do you think the team needs to do, having gone through this now 6 years and probably the last few considered a veteran? What does the group need to do next year to not be in this position?
Well, I think one thing we've really touched on is our game management. I think with the group that we have, and I mean, the coaches can speak for the teams that they've been in the past or whatnot, but I think the effort level for us is there most nights. I think we've had maybe a couple nights off where we didn't maybe play our best, but there's a group in there that really cares and they want to win. But I think when it comes down to the game management part of the game, in certain key situations, maybe we lack that a bit, and that's what you need to do to win. I can't speak for being in the playoffs because I haven't been there, but when you watch teams play from there, it's always seems to be the same teams and the teams that we play against in the season that are tough to play against. They're always on the right side of the puck. They're defensively, they play structurally well, and in key times in the game, they always make the right decision. And I think we lack that a bit and understand that. I think we've gotten better, but there still needs to be improvement.
Is that a mindset that has to change collectively across the team?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, it starts with the guys who've been here as long as myself, Taylor, Nuge. We understand that, and that's the direction that. Yeah, that's how you win games, and like I said, we understand that it's not something you can, go in the summer and play spring hockey and work on. It's something that when you get back to camp from day one, it's got to be there.
You've seen young players come into this league before. You were one yourself. What did you make of Connor? He only played 45 games, but how good he was and maybe where it can go with him? Yeah,
I know. I've said it from the beginning. It's he's going to be an elite player in this league. It's scary that he's only 19. He's just going to get better. But what's impressive is how he went down and rehabbed and came back and actually continued to play well. And usually it takes some time to get back. I think it may have helped he maybe played a few games, but that being said, it was a strong first season for him, and I think like I said, he's going to be an elite player in this league.
How did the addition of Patrick Maroon change the dynamic of your group? Because he seemed to be a guy that was pretty honest in his assessment with how you guys played, and you obviously benefited personally playing on his line.
You know what? I think playing in the Western Conference and this maybe especially our division, it's a big rugged division, and you need that size to be able to compete. And I think Patty, brought that. I think getting in front of their goalie's eyes, getting a chance to play in front of their net and being a tough guy to get the puck from and move from. I think it helped us, especially in this conference.
Does it feel any different going into this offseason knowing that there's talk of some big changes coming?
Like I said, that's no surprise. I think it's maybe more than this year, but in the other years in the past, there's been changes, and no team has ever been put together the same when it comes into camp. So ultimately, like I said, that's out of the players' control. You can't do anything other than be ready for camp and hopefully you're here.
You going to the World Tour?
I'm not going to go this year. I have some family commitments that I have. My sister's having a baby soon, and I actually have a wedding. So Team Canada for me is something that I love going. I've been there 5 times now, and obviously last year was the best time. I think it's always tough finishing the way we do here the past few years, but going there and having an opportunity to win and playing with a great team, and last year getting a chance to win the gold medal was awesome. So Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go this year.